Okay, the in-class worksheet, derivatives homework. We'll go through some of these. We're not going to go through all of them. So hopefully you're paying attention to this video so that you know which ones to do and you can skip the ones that we don't do. Otherwise, you're going to do all of them. All right, for instance, number 1, we did that one in class, so we're going to skip that one. All right, let's take a look at number 2 here. Now remember the definition of a derivative. The limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. Well, if my f of x is 1 over x, then f of x plus h is 1 over x plus h minus f of x is 1 over x. Well, I'm going to find a common denominator here in the numerator of this function by multiplying this top and bottom by x and this top and bottom by x plus h. And what do I have? Then I have x minus h all over x times x plus h, okay, divided by h. So these x's cancel out. I'm left with negative h over x plus x times x plus h over h. Well, as we can cancel out the h's here, and what am I left with? I'm left with negative 1 over x times x plus h. As h goes to 0, this goes to negative 1 over x squared. Now I realize I'm going pretty fast on these, but I just wanted to go through them so that you understand what you're looking at. All right, number 3 is actually very similar to number 1. The only difference is that here we have a minus 4, and here we have a minus 4. So those negative 4 and plus 4 cancel out, and you're left with the same answer. So 1 and 3 end up with the same answer. So I'll let you come back and copy that one down later. Let's take a look at number 4. F of x equals 3x minus 7. So I've got the limit of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Well, what is x plus h? F of x plus h would be 3 times h x plus h minus 7 minus f of x, which is minus 3x minus 7. Well, the 3x's are going to end up canceling out, and I'm left with 3h, and the 7's cancel out. I'm left with 3h over h, and that divides, the h's cancel out, and I'm just left with the constant 3. All right, we'll take a look at number 5. F of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. Here my f of x is 3 over x squared. So f of x plus h would be 3 over x plus h squared minus f of x, which is 3 over x squared. Well, what do I have? I would need to find a common denominator. I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this one by x squared. I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this one by x plus h squared. So now I have 3x squared minus 3 times h plus x squared, all divided by my common denominator of x squared times x plus h squared, all divided by h. Well, let's look what happens. Here, I'm going to have 3x squared minus 3x minus, I'm going to expand this out. I'm going to FOIL this to be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. So this gives me 3x squared minus 3x squareds. Those cancel out. I'm left with 6x. 3 times 2xh is going to be minus 6xh, which I have here, minus 3h squared, all divided by this common denominator of x squared. times x plus h squared, all divided by h still. Okay. Well, look what happens. This h cancels out with one of these h's, and I'm left with negative 6x minus 3h all over x squared times x plus h squared. Well, as h goes to 0, this is going to be x squared times x, and this is just going to be negative 6x, but this is squared here, so it's x squared, and we're going to be x squared times x squared is x to the fourth, so negative 6x, the x and the x to the fourth cancel out to be negative 6 over x cubed. So sorry, I got a little confused there, but here we have an x squared in the denominator. All right, I am not going to go through number 6 right now. You can take a look at that if you want to, but I'm not going to require you to do that. But this is just kind of an introduction to derivatives. The good news is that we're going to discover an easier way to do these in the future. So anyway, so for your homework, you could do numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all right, that's where we're going to stop for today.